Hey guys, it's Steve. So welcome back to our video series, 7 Cooks to Become a Pro. So in this video, we're going to look at the basics of the Grill Dome Kamado, such as starting the cooker up and shutting it down. And then we're going to talk about indirect versus direct. And then we're going to look at some various rack setups. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the basic rack setups on our extra large Grill Dome Kamado here. And so this is what you're looking at here. This is just the main grill grate right here. It's a 22-inch grill grate. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the grill gripper tool, and you kind of hold it upside down and just grab it like that, and we're going to go ahead and just lift this out. Because the first thing I want to show you is the indirect cooking rack. So here's our indirect cooking rack, and again, you can use this in the downward or the upward position. So this is the upward, this is the downward. And so for an indirect setup, you basically just set it down just like this, and then you can either use an aluminum pizza pan or a ceramic stone to set right on top of it like this for your heat diffuser. And so what you would do at this point is go ahead and put your rack back on. So we're just going to set our rack right back on. And if you just need one level, then you're good to go. So you can, this is a huge cooking diameter, so you can cook butts, ribs, whatever you want. Or we've got the grill extender rack right here that you can set on top. So basically what we've got now is we've got a 2-level indirect cooking environment. You can cook a ton of food with this setup right here. Okay, now that we just looked at how to set up our Grill Dome for an indirect method, I'm now going to show you the 2-zone method. So basically what a 2-zone setup is where you're looking to have an indirect side and also a direct side. So an example of that is if you're trying to cook something like pork chops or something that you just want to get some char over some direct heat, but then take it over to an indirect side just to allow that internal temp to come up some more. What we're going to use for that is the half moon rack. And so this is basically just half of a grill extender rack. And then what you do is Grill Dome also offers their half moon pizza stone. And so you just set this underneath, just like this. And now that pizza stone is going to be blocking that heat, kind of like we just saw on the indirect method where we had the full pizza stone down there. So this is basically doing the same thing, but you've got a direct heat environment over here with an indirect environment over here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is show you the setup for cooking pizzas. So to start off with the pizza setup, we're just going to go ahead and get our main grill grate on. And then you really have 2 options for pizza. The preferred option is using the grill extender. And so what this is doing is elevating your pizza up close to the dome, so you've got all that nice convection heating going on for a nice even cook. And then you want a lot of airflow around the sides. And so all you have to do after that is just place your pizza stone right on top and you're all set. I will show you one other quick option. You can use the indirect cooking rack as well, and some guys definitely do that. I do that sometimes. The only difference is that it's not as high. It's about an inch shorter than the grill extender, but you still have a lot of airflow, and you can still go ahead and set your pizza stone on there and cook like that as well. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to show you is how to set up the Grill Dome to sear some steaks. So Grill dome Kamados are really popular for the very high temperatures they can achieve. And so what we're going to do is use our grill gripper tool and just go ahead and remove the main rack. And when you're going for a high heat sear on a steak, all you're doing is using your indirect cooking rack in the downward position. And that's literally all you're going to do. So you're going to get the Kamado up to about 600-700 degrees and literally cook those steaks down just above the lump charcoal. And so you're going to get a true sear by doing it that way. Okay, so now that I've walked you through the various rack setups on our Grill Dome Kamado, we're going to go ahead and take a look at how to get this thing cranked up. So I've already got some leftover lump charcoal down here in the bottom from my previous cook, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and freshen this up with some of the Grill Dome lump charcoal. Just going to pour some of this in here. Alright, so what I like to do, and this is, in my opinion, this is really crucial before any cook, is whenever you dump charcoal, your lump charcoal down here into your Kamado, you're going to have, just some residue and leftover ash. It's going to kind of get cluttered up in the bottom. So I just take our ash tool here and I give it a good stir and just kind of mix it up. Okay, so that's good enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move down to the bottom damper and use the ash tool to pull the ash out. Okay, so here we are down at the bottom damper. I've got the door wide open, and what I do is I just take a piece of tin foil and just kind of put it down here on the bottom. Then we're going to take our ash tool, and all you got to do is just lift up through here and see all that ash that comes out. And this is absolutely crucial that you get this stuff out of here to allow proper airflow during your cook. So I do this before every single cook. And you reach way up in there, and look at all that ash. It's just going to come straight out. This ash tool is absolutely necessary, in my opinion. So we're just going to pull all this out until we get it all out. Alright, so now that we've got our firebox filled up with some nice lump charcoal and we've got the ash cleaned out of the bottom, it's time to go ahead and get this thing fired up. So first thing you want to do is you just want to make sure that bottom damper that we're just looking at, you want to have that wide open to allow plenty of airflow. And then we're going to be taking the Grill Dome Rapid Light, which is basically just a plug-in heating element. And all you got to do is just take this and bury it down inside the coals. Just spread your lump over the top of it, and this thing is going to get this lump lit in just about 7 or 8 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and plug it in, and we'll pick back up in a few minutes. Okay, so it's been right at 8 minutes, and it might be hard to see, but just down below this top layer, all of that lump is just glowing red hot already. So that's how quick this Grill Dome Rapid Light works. So all you really have to do from now is just unplug the Rapid Light and remove it. You obviously want to be really careful with where you sit the Rapid Light. It takes a while to cool down. And then what you do is you just go ahead and add any wood chunks or wood chips. Go ahead and drop in whatever rack setup you want to use. And then you're just going to go ahead and shut the lid, and you want both the bottom and the top vents to be wide open for the first 10 minutes or so. Okay, so now that we've got the lid shut and we've got both the bottom and the top vents wide open, the first thing to mention is that if you're new to Kamado style cookers, definitely don't walk away from these things when you've got both the vents wide open. If you were to walk away for 15 or even 20 minutes, this thing could just be, 900,000 degrees. So you really need to Keep a close eye on them. And once your temperature starts creeping up, you're basically going to start controlling your cooker temp with the bottom vent and the top vent. And so for low and slow, I normally have the bottom vent about 1/4 of an inch open. Then I've got this top vent about like that, about 1/4 of an inch. And it'll sit at 225 for hours and hours and hours. If you're doing pizzas, then I've got the bottom vent more like about an inch open and maybe the top like this. And so it's all about just kind of learning how to control both the bottom and the top vents. Now, as far as shutting the cooker down, so you've already cooked and it's ready to go ahead and get this guy shut off. As long as you're at 300 degrees or below, you can shut both the bottom and the top vents. If you're above 300 degrees, so if you cook some pizzas or seared some steaks and you have the cooker running really hot, you go ahead and shut the bottom vent, but you want to leave the top vent about 1/4 of the way open like this. You don't want to shut them both when it's that hot. And so once it gets to 300 degrees or below, then you just go ahead and shut it completely like that, and then it'll go ahead and start cooling down. The fire will snuff out and you'll be all set. Alright, so now that we've had a good overview of the accessories of the cooker, we've looked at how to operate the cooker, and we've looked at some various rack setups with this grill dome Kamado. We're going to start putting those things to use and start doing some actual cooks. So we're going to be cooking things like ribs, chicken, pizza, steak, just some real easy things to start off with. So we hope you'll come back and join us on this 7 Cooks to Become a Pro video series. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope to see you again.